So you got your new airplane, you got your transmitter, you got your instruction manual for your new bind and fly, and you need to set up the rates and the EXPO in your transmitter. Let's do it. Are you going to do the video, Simba's? Okay, Simba is in charge. Good luck, guys. Ooh, turn around, man. That's not cool. All right, stand by, folks. Stand by, stand by. We got rates and EXPO. Rates and EXPO. Stand by, stand by. Oh, let's get situated here. All right. Oops. Hang on. I found it. I found it. Stand by, folks. Stand by. He's always trying to steal the show. That's Simba's. Say hi. Say hey. Hi, guys. All right. Down you go. God, he's like 50 pounds. Hey, YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. 2025 flying season has begun. You see that cat here? I've already been out once this year, last weekend, and it was a good time. Well, I missed it. I stayed out until dark. It was good. And this weekend's been no good. What am I trying to say? It's been bad, been storming. So maybe tomorrow, Sunday, I can go. So this year I'm going to do a bunch of videos, and of course it's going to be random RC stuff, like I'm pretty good at. And we're also going to do the transmitter. And we're going to do line by line, option by option, everything inside the transmitter. When you turn it on, you're on the function list. The first thing is servo setup. And we're going to do a video on that. How do you do it, why you do it, etc. We're going to skip it and go directly to rates and EXPO because I'm building a new test plane and the hot glue is still a little warm right now. So we'll get back to that one in a day or two. Anyways, when you get a new plane, you need to set up your dual rates. A rate is the movement of your stick, which moves the control surface. If you barely pushed your stick over, then you would be moving it, part of the rate. Or if you move the stick all the way over, that would be like 100% of the rate. If you moved it 50% over, it would be a 50% rate. And let's just dive on in. And don't make the mistake that I've made. I've had to delete 2 or 3 models and go back to the dual rates and EXPO because I just couldn't figure out how to get myself out of this predicament that I got myself put into. So that's what we're going to do. Let me get you zoomed in here on the old NX6 and we'll do the dual rates and EXPO. This transmitter is a Generation 3 transmitter. The screen and so forth is going to be the same. The buttons and the scroll wheel and the setup, the dual rates and EXPO is going to be the same as a Generation 2 and newer transmitter. So if you have a black transmitter, then you're good to go. I don't want you to think that you have to have an NX6 to follow along because you don't. It's all the same, really. Generation 1 transmitters are a silver color. So if you got a black one, you're good to go. Good to go. All right, hey, go get you zoomed on in there. Okay, hang tight. All right, stand by, folks, stand by. Brand new bind and fly, and we need to go to the transmitter setup, which is right here, transmitter setup. Here's directions for the NX series. There's direction for the DX series and the IX series. What I'm going to show you on the NX is very similar to the DX. So let's talk about the rates and the EXPO. Right down here, we can see step 7 says set the rates and the EXPO for the aliens. Set high rates to 100%. Set the low rates to 70%. It wants the EXPO on your 100% to a plus 10%. And on your low rates of 70% to set the EXPO for a positive 5%. And it says to set it to switch F. You can have it on whatever switch you want, but I'll show you what is most common and most convenient for your fingers, and the switch that you may choose to use. If it is a 3-position switch, most likely will be, then we can have 3 different choices. So we'll set up a 70%, 85%, and a 100%. Let's get into it. We got our transmitter out. We're going to press the scroll wheel one time to get to the function menu. Quick tip, when you're pressing your scroll wheel, press towards the top. The button that's being selected when you press it is near the top. If you press towards the bottom, eventually your scroll wheel will break. Trust me from experience, it ruined my flying day. So we scroll the scroll wheel, and the first thing is servo setup, coming in a video or two. The next choice is rates and expo. We'll select that one time. The aliens are number one up on the chopping block here, and the switch is inhibited. Remember, our instruction manual said to use switch F. That's what most people use. It's right here. So we select on the switch, and you can either roll through and find switch F, or in most transmitters you can just flip the switch and it will choose the switch for you, and it did, F. And the way I have it here, we're in the low position, so that'll be our low rates, medium rate, and the high rate. So we're on switch F. When the switch is down, that's number 2. It's 210, and we see that the number 2 is highlighted in black there. So now we got our switch F chosen, and when the switch is in the 2 position, it's showing 2 position here because it's in the black. Select, and we'll go up here to the rates, and we'll change that to 70. Not negative 70, but 70. Select. And we'll go down here to our expo. Remember, in our instruction manual, just for video's sake, it said 5%. Positive 5, not negative 5. Select. All right, so now we need to do a middle rate. So we'll flip the switch to the middle section. You can see the middle is highlighted in black now, which is number 1. The switch is in number 1 from the top down, 0, 1, 2. So 1 and 1. And then we'll go up here to the rates, and we'll, for video's sake, we'll change it to 85. Select. And expo, we'll do positive 7, just for the video's sake. So now let's flip the switch to high, which is in 0. 0's highlighted in black. 100% is already done for us because that's where they start. And we'll do 10, positive 10 for the expo for the high. So now, as I flip the switch down, middle rate 85, low rate 70. So we have our dual rates and expo set up for the aliens. Let's go on up here, highlight the aliens, roll the scroll wheel over to the elevator. Switch is inhibited. Now, what switch are you going to use for your elevator? On this particular transmitter, just for reaching with our fingers and so on, we'll use this switch right here. That is the G switch. So we'll go in here to inhibit, select, and then I'll flip this switch. See if you guys can see it on. Oh, you guys okay? As I flip the G, bam, changed it to G. And when the switch is back towards me, we'll keep that for our low rates so that all the switches down or towards us are low, and as you get higher, the switch moves away from you or what have you. That's what I do, and that's what a lot of people do, and you can do whatever you want. So switch G is highlighted, number 2 is highlighted in the black. We'll get out of that guy. Up here to the rate, we'll change that to 70. Expo, positive 5. All right, I'm going to flip my switch to the 1 position, 1 change in the black. Up here to the rate, 85. And then expo, positive 7. All right, I'm going to flip my switch to the high position. 100 is already there because that's where they start. And then we'll take this to 10. So now we can do our switch, high, medium, and low. 70, 85, 100. Up to elevator, highlight it, roll the scroll wheel to the rudder. So for the rudder, being that the rudder's on this stick here, we have 2 switches on this transmitter. We'll use this one for the rudder because this next one, the taller one, is my safe select switch. So this is a B switch, the one we're going to use, which is right there. And we'll go down here to our switch and select, and we'll just flip our switch. B, it already chose it for us. I just pulled the switch back towards us, so now we're in our low position. Select to get out of the switch. Up here to the rate, we'll change it to positive 70. Expo, we'll give it positive 5. All right, so now we're going to flip the switch up to the middle section. Select, we'll change it to 85. We'll take our EXPO to +7. Now we'll flip our switch to the highest position. 100 is already there. Select on the EXPO, change it to +10. So now let's do the rudder. We're in the 100, middle for 85, all the way down to low. So now we have our dual rates and EXPO set up per the manual for the rudder, elevator, and the aliens. There's our aliens. We'll flip our switch right here and we'll watch it go from 100, 85, 70. Now we'll roll it over to the elevator. It's at 100, 85, and 70. Then we'll roll it over to the rudder. It's 100, 85, and 70. So the dual rates and EXPO are set up for all three control surfaces per the manual for demonstration purposes only in the transmitter. What you don't want to do is what I did before, is when you start selecting in these boxes down here, it can really mess you up. If for some reason you want to hit the scroll wheel while it's in the 0 there, now you got 2 blacks and 1 nothing. So when you start hitting your B, you can see that the high rates have disappeared because we've changed what's active. When it's black, it's active. And whatever the switch is, whatever physical position your switch is in, like right now it's in position 2 and this position 0 forward, your switch, the highlight in black, needs to match the switch that you moved, and it needs to match up here in the curve. You just don't want to do that. You can get yourself all messed up, guys, all messed up. So what exactly is EXPO? Well, let's have a little demonstration right here. So we got a servo, and we got a receiver, and we got a battery pack, and we'll go ahead and cut that guy on and make sure that it's bound to it, and it is. So let's get our transmitter and our servo in the picture here. Okay, I just centered the servo arm right here, so it's straight up and down. So what is EXPO? EXPO softens your maneuver. Think about you're driving a car and you yank the steering wheel and the car swerves to the right, like immediately. Like as soon as you pull the steering wheel, the car's jerking. If you had a bunch of positive EXPO, when you yank that steering wheel, it would ease on over. Okay, think about the gas pedal. You're in your Ferrari, you hit the gas pedal in your Ferrari, and boom, car's gone, takes off. Well, let's turn up the EXPO in your Ferrari, and you hit the gas, bam, forward, and car goes. It softens the maneuver. So, high rates for our aliens, right? Now we got 10% EXPO set up for the aliens. Let's go up here and we're going to change the EXPO to as high as we can go. So now it's going to soften the maneuver as much as we can. So you see the delay there? I'm going to move the stick to the right as quick as I can, and you watch the servo. The EXPO is designed to help you around the beginning of your maneuver. So you can see that nothing really happens until I start moving over a little bit. That might help you do a trick a little more gracefully or something. And the stick's moving, servo's not. Then the servo goes. So let's take our EXPO and we'll change it to 0. So there's no help at all. Whenever I move the stick, the servo should move with it. Barely move the stick, servo moves. Let's take our EXPO and we'll change it to -100. What's that going to do? Well, it's going to help you out faster. Watch the stick, watch the servo. I barely touched the stick and that thing's moving. So now let's change it to positive 100 again. Watch the stick, watch the servo. Moving the stick, and the servo's barely moving. So the EXPO softens the stick around the center of the stick. Right now we're in the alien, so we got the left and we got the right. So right now the stick is centered. That's where the softness or the sharpness is going to be. So we'll just set it to the positive 10 in the high rates like the book said. So there's your EXPO. When you're doing a maneuver or you're landing and you don't want to be real jerky, then you might want to have a little EXPO to kind of help you, to help out with the sudden corrections. You know, giving yourself just a little bit of a cushion. That's what the EXPO is. Or if you're really high tech into stunts or whatever, you might want the negative EXPO. I hope that helped some of you guys out. Maybe it just gave you a little entertainment. Maybe it kind of helped you. I don't know. I hope it all worked out. So next, we'll do what's next in line on down the menu, and then the glue might be done drying. So throttle cut. That's a big one. That's a big one. You don't want your plane starting. You plug the battery in, the propeller starts spinning. That happens. Like, share, subscribe, guys. That's the best way to support me. I know you're tired of hearing it, but that's the best way to support me. I'm not selling t-shirts or bumper stickers. Not selling screwdriver kits anymore. Like, share, and subscribe. That's the best way. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. Hope some of you guys get to go out and fly tomorrow on Sunday. And I guess until next time, you'll see me here. Watch one of these. Click on my dad's drawing. That's the best way to subscribe.